Hey everybody, Matt here, and before the holiday season gets into full swing, I wanted to make a quick video comparing these two upper mid-tier wireless headsets, the Steelseries Arctis Nova 7 and the HyperX Cloud 3 wireless, which just came out. Now, the reason I'm calling these upper mid-tier is because they cost about $170 to $180 MSRP, although both of them can be bought for $40 less right now. This can be had for $130 on Amazon, and the Steelseries can be had for $140. So you've got a $10 difference in price. Is there more than a $10 difference in quality and features? Fucking absolutely. The long story, condensed as short as I can, is that if you want the absolute most bang for your buck when you're spending $130 or more for a wireless headset, get the Steelseries Arctis Nova 7. There are a couple of reasons for this. First off is the quantity and the quality of the features. Not only does this headset do a lot, it does all of it very well. You are not going to be sacrificing audio quality in order to have Bluetooth functionality. You're not sacrificing comfort in order to have 18 different dials on there with bells and whistles galore, all right? However, that's not to say that the Cloud 3s don't do anything better. In my personal opinion, the Cloud 3s are ever so slightly more comfortable to wear and have ever so slightly more immersive or at least fun audio. All right, that can be relatively simply explained just due to the fact that the Cloud 3s have 53mm drivers and the Arctis Nova 7 have 40mm drivers. And you'll be able to tell the difference when I compare these side by side, actually holding them up. The second big reason why I would recommend the Arctis Nova 7 over the Cloud 3s is going to be to the Bluetooth functionality. And before you say, well, hey buddy, I don't give a shit about having Bluetooth, I used to be the same way. I didn't need my gaming headsets to have any sort of Bluetooth capability because I didn't care about having my phone hooked up to my gaming headset. And that all changed after I bought this. I did not buy the Arctis Nova 7 because of the Bluetooth functionality, but it is now the number one feature that I can't really live without on a wireless headset that is going to cost upward of $100. Let me just paint a picture for you as quickly as I can. I'm playing Counter-Strike with my friends, I'm in Discord, we're chatting, whatever. Before a round begins, I'm sitting there browsing my phone, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever it may be. I'm watching a funny video, the audio is coming straight through my headphones, nobody else can hear it, great. Second thing, we're in the middle of a round. Everyone's dead besides me. It's a clutch situation. I need everybody in Discord to just shut the fuck up. Instead of having to swap applications and try to turn everyone down or whatever I gotta do, it's literally a quick swipe of a dial on the headset. And I'm able to mute everybody in Discord or turn them down to an acceptable volume so that I can hear the game above them. Third scenario, later on in that match, you get a phone call. It's an important one. The second you swipe to answer that phone call, your voice in Discord is muted. You no longer transmit voice in-game if you have an open mic for some reason like a sociopath. Your game volume itself is lowered to, I think it's 12 decibels, and you can change what it does necessarily in the settings. So the game gets quieter so you can hear your phone conversation more clearly. And then the person that you're on the phone with has no earthly idea that you're playing video games. They can't hear the mouse and the keyboard behind unless you have fucking Cherry MX Blue switches, but they can't hear the game. So it's like perfect for just having a quick phone conversation while not losing out entirely on your game experience, right? So when I got that feature, I found myself just falling in love with it, and I don't want to be without it anymore. And when I got the Cloud 3s and realized it didn't have that, I realized just how kind of easy of a decision it was for me, which one of these headsets I personally liked better. Now, the video, I'm going to try to keep as short as I can, but I'm going to go into the physical differences of the two, what you get in the box, what each headset has in terms of features, build quality, etc. I'm going to talk about the comfort, the audio quality, do a microphone test, show you the software, and then kind of wrap all this up. So let's jump right into it with what do you get in the box? Well, starting off with the Arctis Nova 7. You get the headset, right, which has a retractable microphone. You get two pretty long USB-A to USB-C cables. One of them is male, the other one is female, so lengthy cables there, right? You get your wireless receiver, which then can go into the female USB-C. I have this set up so that it's kind of hanging off the edge of my desk. I do like that. And then you also get a 3.5 millimeter cable if you have any use for it. I don't, but I think it's nice that they include it. The HyperX Cloud 3s, on the other hand, you get the headset. The microphone is detachable, so you get the microphone in there. You get this adapter, this wireless little dongle, which has a adapter right here, USB-C to USB-A, as well as the receiver itself, which has a USB-C connection if you have one of those on your PC. And then you also get this little carrying bag and this very long USB-C charging cable. And that is it. So pretty bare bones package when you are talking about just a $10 difference, and that's not including the differences in the features of the headset. So back to the SteelSeries. You get it out, you notice immediately the build quality is pretty good, all right? The only metal that you're gonna find on this that I've been able to find is a very thin band up top, on top of the headband here. It has the suspension style, which I've said 1,000 times, I'm not the biggest fan of. I prefer a nice, comfortable, thick top headband like this, but after you get it adjusted, I do find these to be plenty comfortable. I bought these back in March, so I've used them for 8 months, and for me to have used a headset for this long, it's gotta be comfortable or I would have returned it like almost immediately, all right? You can adjust the arms of the ear cups in and out a little bit. It does take a decent amount of force there. On the left ear cup here, you do have your retractable microphone. You have a mute button, and that mute button is actually going to have a little LED that pops up to show you when you are muted. So right now, muted, unmuted, and there is an audible tone that plays in the ear cup as well. You have your overall volume dial right here. So this is gonna be your volume for everything, your games, music, whatever it may be, just all up or all down. On the right ear cup, last thing, you do have your 3.5 millimeter jack right there on the left ear cup. On the right ear cup, you have your power buttons, 2 of them, one for Bluetooth and one for the overall headset power. So you can actually have these connected to your phone without having any sort of PC audio coming through them, which I do like. I've used it every now and then, but not very often, right? If I have one on, I usually have both of them on. You have the dial I was mentioning, which is your game and chat mixer. There's a nice little bump in the middle to let you know when you're at 50-50, which I do appreciate. And then you have your USB-C charging port. Now, this does come with replaceable, swappable little ear plates here, as well as the top band. You can go and buy something like this, $14.99, if you want to kind of add a little bit of color or personality to your headset. The ear cups are rotatable, which is pretty crucial in my opinion when it comes to a wireless headset, especially if you have, if you're going to be taking it on or off, right? And then the ear cups are this air weave fabric. Now, since it is only 40 millimeter drivers, these are definitely a little bit smaller, especially when you compare it to, say, the 53 millimeters of the Cloud 3s. You can tell kind of just internally how much of a difference that is. So the only thing you got to do, and I'll mention it again in the comfort section, is you just have to make sure you adjust these properly. It took a lot of trial and error for me to get these correct for my head, but I was able to eventually make them comfortable. So there's that. But overall, very nice package. The amount of features, functionality, and what you get in the box, well worth the $140 price tag. I think I paid $170 for these when I bought them, so I didn't feel like I got gypped then, and I think at $140, these are still hold up very well in terms of value. The Cloud 3s, on the other hand, when you pick them up, you're gonna be like, hey, it's a pair of Cloud 2s, because it essentially is, right? It's more of a refresh than a true successor, in my personal opinion. The headband is still that nice leather HyperX up there with a very thick padding, very comfortable to wear when you put them on. It's really hard to beat. You have the metal arms right here with little clicks to be able to let you know kind of how far in or out you are with the adjusting. The ear cups do not rotate, which I think is a little bit jacked on a $130 headset, but it is what it is. On the left ear cup here, you have your detachable microphone, you have your power button, If you press your power button while these are on and powered up, it'll tell you how much volume's remaining. 60% battery remaining. And then there is a mute button behind it. And it's kind of weird. The mute button won't work unless your dongle is actually plugged in. So let me plug that into the PC real quick. And then your mute button is going to have a little red LED as well to let you know when you are muted. You have your USB-C charging port right there. And the only thing I want to mention just in terms of functionality, if you hold down the mute button for 3 seconds, it enables or disables mic monitoring or side tone, which I think is critical on every closed back or wireless headset. The right ear cup simply has the volume dial, and it is interesting to note that the volume dial on this headset actually controls your overall Windows volume. So probably can't see it here, but you'll see it in the software section. Most headsets, when you adjust their volume, it's kind of like just isolated to the headset itself. It doesn't actually change the Windows volume. Whether or not that's something worth mentioning, don't really know, but I did find it interesting the first time I saw it pop up. The ear cups are leatherette. Now, it's fortunate and unfortunate, I guess, that I'm making this video when it's a little bit cooler in Texas and not the dead heat of summer. So I can't tell you about how bad it gets when my ears get hot in these other ear cups, but I can tell you that the mesh airweave cushions of these are a lot more breathable than the leatherette ones. However, these are not uncomfortable. I've never had them on for more than a couple of hours and said to myself, I gotta get these off. My ears are too hot right now. That was weird. But I will say, these are incredibly comfortable. When you put them on, it's hard to knock the headset. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? In a perfect world, and this is my $1 million idea for any company that's watching, which none of them are, let's face it, I would have a headset with this form factor in terms of the headband, the ear cups, the size, right? The form factor with all of these features and swappable ear cups. Like, perfect headset right there, in my personal opinion. Moving on to comfort, or just kind of segueing right into it. Even though I do overall recommend the Arctis Nova 7 wireless for everybody out there who's stuck between these two headsets, there is no denying, in my opinion, just how comfortable the Cloud 3s are. I really wish SteelSeries would quit with this whole having to just be different for the sake of being different thing, and that's what I've always felt like these suspension-style ski goggle headbands are. I know people will come out of the woodworks in the comments and defend it and say, hey, it's fucking comfortable, what are you talking about, man? Obviously, it's comfortable. I'm able to wear it for long periods of time. I've had it for 8 months. I've made it work for me too. But it's not more comfortable than just some fat ear cushions and a nice thick headband, in my personal opinion. The 53mm drivers are just bigger. And when you have a bigger ear cup, you're able to do more in terms of the cushioning, the padding, etc. So you really have a lot of wiggle room, I'll call it, with getting these to be comfortable. Like, I think anybody could pop these on and within 20 seconds find a setting that's comfortable for them. I had to spend a lot more time trial and error with these to get them to feel comfy. Was this adjusted properly enough? Did I need to move these up or down on the pegs? Did I need to move the arms in or out? There were plenty of sessions where afterwards my ears felt like they'd been getting pulled down the entire time or pulled up, whatever it may be. Obviously, I found a setting that was comfortable, but still, when it comes to the comfort game, even with the leatherette ear cushions, I'm gonna give comfort to the HyperX Cloud 3s. Now, audio quality, also a little bit difficult. I don't like when the new product I get somehow always edges out the old one, right? But I don't think there's any denying that the 53mm drivers just sound a little bit better than the 40mm that you get in the SteelSeries Arctis Nova 7s. If you were to do a side-by-side comparison, I think you would see exactly what I'm talking about. You can play any game, and when you pop on the HyperX Cloud 3s, it just sounds a little bit better, all right? Is that worth your entire buying decision? I wouldn't necessarily say so, but I would say that if you're someone that has your heart set on getting the Cloud 3s because you love the Cloud 2s, your old pair of Cloud 2s broke or whatever, I think you'll be satisfied with them. The overarching comment on this video is just going to be, you can't beat the value that the SteelSeries Arctis Nova 7 provides over the Cloud 3s. You're talking about a headset that does 7 things great, versus one that does two things great. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much it for the audio quality and comfort. I'm sorry if it's not that in depth. Let me just say this for those of y'all who are kind of audiophiles out there. If you're an audiophile, you're probably buying a wired open back headset in the first place, not a wireless closed back one. If you've ever used a closed back headset, in my personal opinion, they all sound kind of the same. And that's what I would say here. Like, neither one of these are better than a Game 1 or a PC38X or a H6 Pro open back. Like, they're just closed back headsets, right? So you get the audio that you get. But if you had to pick between one of these two based off of audio alone, Cloud 3 is from me. Do a quick mic test for you that I recorded last night. Do a quick software demo, and then let's wrap it all up. Okay, so I'm going to do a microphone test on between all of them. Right now I've got the HyperX Cloud 3s on. It's important to note something. So I would be in Discord, and I would actively swap between the HyperX Cloud 3s and the Steelseries Arctis Nova 7s and ask people if they could tell a difference. Nobody could ever tell a difference. So I'm assuming all wireless microphones here are going to sound pretty damn similar. So that's this headset. That should be a nice kind of test to see what that sounds like. Let's go ahead and swap over to the Steelseries. All right, so this is the Steelseries microphone. I can see that it's definitely hitting the red and the yellow a whole heck of a lot more than the HyperX did, so I apologize. Maybe if I need to do some post to not blow y'all's eardrums off, there's that. But that's what this one sounds like. And now to do a little control, I'm going to use the PC38X, which is just a really nice, clean headset wired audio. So here is your PC38X, which I've long maintained has one of the best microphones you can get on a gaming headset. I would assume it sounds drastically different than the two previous wireless ones you heard. So yeah, there's the old mic test all done. All right, so for a quick software demo, first up, the HyperX Cloud 3. This is HyperX Ingenuity. I'm not the biggest fan of it in general, but in this case, I don't hate it because it is so simplistic. You have these three options which you can control on the headset itself. That's controlling the volume, muting or unmuting the microphone, as well as turning it up or down, and then enabling or disabling mic monitoring. Again, all three things you can do on the headset itself with physical controls. You have the option to turn on or off this Dolby spatial sound, which I actually don't use because the additional audio processing will cause increased latency. Not only that, but I've never found this to be such a huge upgrade that I needed it. The only thing that sucks, though, is that by not enabling it, you don't get access to the equalizer. But the quote-unquote good news here is that the audio quality right out of the box was so good that I never felt the need to have one of these presets on over the factory default. So that's it for Ingenuity. Nice and simple. And sometimes, guys, simple is better. I love when I buy a piece of hardware and I don't have to fuck around with the software to get it to work properly. SteelSeries GG is a lot more in depth. So when you go to the engine tab, you can click into your headset and adjust some settings. So first up is general settings. Turn the headset off when it's inactive for X amount of time. Bluetooth default. So this is going to turn Bluetooth on when the headset powers on. You can disable that, meaning you want to turn the headset on but leave Bluetooth off. You can choose what happens when you get a phone call like I was mentioning. The first option is to do nothing during calls, so the game volume is going to be at 100%. The second option, which is default and what I love, is lowering the game volume by 12 decibels during that phone call. So it turns down the second you answer it, and it turns right back up the second you hang up the call. The third option is to entirely mute the game when you have a phone call. The last setting here is a little bit goofy, and that's to change the brightness on the mic muted LED. Who gives a shit? Then you can go into the audio. This one does come with some equalizer presets, but some is a pretty generous word. 4 to be exact. Flat, bass boost, focused, and smiley. Now, I leave mine on smiley. I find it to be a little bit more, I can't believe I fucking say it, fun, whatever. You can also go in and make your own custom preset.
I really do wish they included more. Like for such a feature-rich headset and such a robust software, the fact that that's all that could come up with was a little bit weird to me. You can control your mic volume output here. If someone says, hey man, you're being too loud on the mic, you can turn that down really quickly. And then you have the ability to adjust the level of mic side tone or mic monitoring between off and high. I leave mine on high because, again, I am not a sociopath. Then you have a volume limiter and mic preview. The interesting thing here is sonar. So what sonar is what allows you to do the game and chat mixer. And essentially what it does is it goes and it adds 5 more inputs to your sound options. Sonar chat, sonar auxiliary, sonar gaming, sonar media, and sonar microphone. And what these do is allow you to select what you want each one to be at in terms of volume level, as well as how you want to apply them in Discord. So I'll put up a little kind of guide there in terms of how you set it up if you want to do it with Discord, but it's very easy to follow. It is a little bit annoying though when you go to select your sound and you now have this many options to scroll through thanks to the 6 that are provided with the Arctis Nova 7. So that's it for the software. It works fine. It is what it is.
So I think it's fair to say that both of those wireless microphones suck, especially when you try to compare them to a wired microphone like the PC38X, which is just legendary in my opinion. But it is what it is, right? I've never had a wireless headset that had a microphone anywhere near as good in terms of quality. Like I said at the very beginning of the video, if I had to pick one to recommend to you, the viewer, to go and spend your hard-earned money on, I would get the Steelseries Arctis Nova 7 due to the sheer amount of features that it has, and not only the quantity of them, but the quality of them. I've had this pair for 8 months. I have had 0 issues with them. They have never randomly disconnected on me. I've never had any software issues. I've never had to uninstall and reinstall SteelSeries GG. I've never had any kinds of hiccups or anything with the wireless connection, like nothing, which to me is staggering because one of the other SteelSeries products I reviewed, which was a wireless headset for the Xbox, I had nothing but problems with. So these have been nothing but a very, very pleasant surprise. Like it's become probably my second favorite headset that I own behind the PC38X, which if you know me, you know my channel, I love wired open back headphones. So that's crazy, right? But it just does everything well. You aren't sacrificing anything. You're not giving up one feature in order to have another. However, if you don't give a shit at all about Bluetooth integration, like you know for a fact you will never, ever, ever use it, and you know for a fact you don't care about the ability to turn your friends up or down on Discord with the scroll of a wheel, then maybe the HyperX Cloud 3s are for you. But don't be fooled by the price tag or the name. The Cloud 3, I don't know if I can call it a worthy successor to the Cloud 2s. It feels just like an update, like a side grade. It's like they needed to come out with something new, so they just updated the drivers and called them the Cloud 3. But like, this feels a whole lot like, the iPhone 12 to the 13 or something like that. It's just kind of, this is not a leap like you're going from the 10 to the 15 or something like that. I really wish that the Cloud 3s had done a lot more. Like they had brought more to the table, like Bluetooth integration, like what SteelSeries does at the very least, or maybe include some swappable ear cushions, something like that. But they are still an awesome headset, and I do find myself using them if I know I'm not going to be in Discord that night. Like tonight, probably going to play a little bit of Halo before bed. Probably going to use the Cloud 3s. So both of these are good headsets, and both of them I feel like are worth what you pay for them. But if value matters to you, I don't think there's any argument for the Cloud 3s over the Arctis Nova 7s. I hope the video was informative. I had tried making this yesterday. It ended up being like 26 minutes long. I might upload that version too, just in case you want a kind of more in-depth or longer video, whatever. But I hope it was informative. I hope it helps with any buying decisions you might have. If there's a Black Friday sale coming up, Cyber Monday, Christmas, whatever it may be. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Thank you all so much for spending your time watching me and my channel. Really do appreciate it. Y'all have a great one. Be safe, happy, healthy. I will talk to you all on the next one.